Yeah, so things are in a weird spot. Where the girls are gonna go from here with this newfound information of kind of what QA's been essentially hiding from them, and I wouldn't even say hiding. No, he's hiding. He's so interesting as a person, right? As a character, even just because like he hasn't lied. I don't think he's lied one time, but he doesn't like come forward and tell you the truth unless you ask a question. But then if you ask a question, he phrases or says things in a way that like are like wrong but right. I don't know how to describe it. Like he says like I can't force you. It's against like everything. I'm not allowed to force you into this decision, which he doesn't, right? Technically. But at the same time, all the strings he pulls in the background, the little pushes he gives to people, the things he lets kind of occur and happen, lets them gradually find out, all lead to the fact that Madoka's gonna like what he wants, right, and gets to his end goal. So like, can we really consider that to be him not forcing anything or not really influencing it in these sort of ways? Like he's pulling some strings and he does that with seemingly everything, and it's really weird. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see whatever else he's got in store. But now the fact that Sayaka is alive, but we've learned a lot about the soul gems and everything too, and what's the becoming really going to be weird, and I'm excited. I really am. The show constantly has been doing a great job at putting me in a position where I just think like overall like character interactions and internal struggles and like conflicts with morals and stuff kind of come into play at times, with themselves or others or scenario based, and it's like really intriguing. On top of like all the other like little twists that they're throwing at us, so it's been great. Hopefully you guys enjoy though. If you like it, all like and subscribe. You want to feel free to stick around for the discussion on my comments of this better series. Let's get going on episode 7. Did they explain it to her? The questions I have.
騙してたのね、私たちを。僕は魔法少女になってくれってきちんとお願いしたはずだよ。実際の姿が
right. I may have omitted that. I may have. In his defense,
なんで教えてくれ
you
なか
didn't
った
ask. You didn't ask. Yeah, you didn't
の
ask.
知らなければ知らないままで何の不都合もないからね。事実、あのマミでさえ最後まで気づかなかった。
I feel like it's a crucial thing to find out too.
なんて最初から自覚できてないんだろう。そこは神経細胞の集まりでしかないし、そこは循環器系の中枢があるだけだ。
But if you tell them they can position it in a spot that works.
精神まで消滅してしまう。そうならないよう僕は君たちの魂を実体化し、手に取ってきちんと守れる形にしてあげた。少しでも安全。
But if I don't know, how can I protect it?
大きなお世話よ。そんな余計なこと。
No, it's just part of the job. Don't worry about
という
it.
ものを甘く考えすぎだよ。
So we can just simulate that by putting
これが
touch to
本来の
this.
痛みだよ。ただの一発でも動けやしないだろう。
This protects you and keeps you.
強すぎる苦痛がセーブされていたからさ。君の意識が肉体と直結していないからこそ可能なことだ。おかげで君はあの戦闘を生き延びることができた。
So basically, you just like torturing young girls. Got it.
破綻することもできるよ。もっともそれはそれで動きが鈍るからあまりおすすめはしないけど。なんでよ。
You think this is funny?
こんな目に。戦いの運命を受け入れてまで君には叶えたい望みがあったんだろう。それは間違いなく実現したじゃないか。
That's why it's important to think it through. That's why the little stupid things that Madoka was trying to go with are like, oh, we can just have a cake. No, this is your life. It has to be equivalent. It has to make up for it. Didn't come in today. I wouldn't either if I were you. Your life is literally in your hands. Can you explain some stuff? You didn't ask. That's fair. He doesn't realize that. Maybe even emotions. That's what he did do.
本当なら人の命でさえあがなえるものじゃないのよ。
Be able to give up your life
そ
for
れ
it.
を売って歩いているのがあいつ。
It tracks. I can't even get mad. I don't like the dude, but I can't get mad.
あの時、私もひとみちゃんも死んでたの。感謝と責任を混同してはダメよ。あなたには彼女を救う手立てなんてない。引け目を感じたくないからって借りを返そうだなんて、そんな出過ぎた考えは捨てない。
Because there's nothing you can do at the end of the day.
じゃあどうしていつも冷たいの？
She's real.
きっともう人間じゃないからかもね。ためにだけ生きてれば何もかも自分のせいだ。誰を恨むこともないし、後悔なんてあるわけがない。そう
Sure.
思えば大抵のことは背負えるもんさ。
Your only regret may be solely living for yourself. We're just having a meeting or are we going to work? Crazy fucking environment.
食い物を粗末にするんじゃねえ。殺すぞ。
Over that? Was her wish something along these lines? Or in relation?
私の親父の教会だった。
Hmm.
新しい時代を救うには新しい信仰が必要だって、それが親父の言い分だった。だからある時、教義にないことまで信者に説教するようになった。
Bro
も
rewrote
ちろん
it.
信者の足はぱったり途絶えたよ。
Yeah.
本部からも破門された。誰も親父の話を聞こうとしなかった。
Not even one
当
follower.
然だよね。傍から見ればうさんくさい新興宗教さ。
Yeah.
どんなに正しいことを、当たり前のことを話そうとしても、世間じゃただの鼻つまみ者さ。私たちは一家揃って食うものにもことかくありさまだった。
Gotcha.
ちゃんと耳を傾けてくれれば正しいことを言ってるって誰にでも分かったはずなんだ。
But it's the hive. they don't care. They
誰
do
も相
not.
手をしてくれなかった。
They follow, they move together, they all believe and listen to the same things. They don't stray from what is known already.
私には我慢できなかった。
Not
だ
even
か
known,
ら
accept
キュ
it,
ー
I
ベに頼ん
guess.
だんだよ。みんなが親父の話を真面目に聞いてくれますように。
Oh. Oh.
翌朝には親父の教会は押しかける人でごった返していた。毎日おっかなくなる。
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one.
私で晴れて魔法少女の仲間入りさ。いくら親父の説法が正しくったってそれで魔女が退治できるわけじゃない。
I still had to uphold my part.
私の出番だってバカみたいに意気込んでいたよ。私と親父で表と裏からこの世界を救うんだって。ただ信仰のためじゃなく魔法の力で集まってきたんだと知った時、
I
親父
would
は
too. I absolutely
娘の
would.
私は人の心を惑わす
Yeah.
魔女だって罵った。 笑っちゃ
How
うよね。
witch is used here and
私は毎晩
Yeah,
本物の魔女と戦い続けてたってのに。それで親父は壊れちまった。最後は惨めだって。
it's also like the fact that your life's work ends up being related to something not through your own work itself.
家族を道連れに無理心中さ。
Oh. That's
私一人を置き去りにしてね。
oh. Because it's your soul, so he technically couldn't.
勝手な願い事をしたせいで結局誰もが不幸になった。その時心に誓ったんだよ。もう二度と他人のために魔法を使ったりしない。この力は全て自分のためだけに使い切る。あんたは自分のことだけ考えて生きてるはずなのに、私の心配なんかしてくれるわけ？あんたも私と同じ間違い
a
が
really good
始まるん
point.
だ。
But it technically goes
これ以上
against
後悔
everything
するよう
you
な生き
said.
方を続けるべきじゃない。
Yeah.
あんたはもう対価としては高すぎるもんを支払っちまってるんだ。
True.
だからさ、これからは釣り線を取り戻すことを考えなよ。あんた
And you laying in bed and destroyed over this doesn't really help.
あんたは今も間違い続けてる。見てられないんだよ、そいつが。 あんたのこといろいろと誤解してた。そのことはごめん、謝るよ。
Proper apology from Sayaka.
でも
Huh.
ね、私は人のために祈ったことを後悔してない。その気持ちを嘘にしないために後悔だけはしないって決めたの。これからも。なんであんたは。私はね、高すぎるものを支払ったなんて思ってない。
Huh.
この力は使い方次第でいくらでも素晴らしいものにでき
True.
るはずだから。どうやって手に入れたの？お店で払ったお金はどうしたの？
This is this is a jobless or a
言えない。
moneyless job.
なら私そのリンゴを食べられない。もらっても嬉しくない。
Hmm. We'll run it back once more. I love Sayaka. She swears she's so badass, but she knows she would get her shit clapped if they fought again and nobody was there to save her. I'm just saying. Unless that oracle speech alone just leveled her up. But I don't think that's how that works.
脳はどうかしたんですの？ああ、ちょっとばかり風邪っぽくてね。
I died and then came
大丈夫だよ。もう平気。心配いらないから。
家にこもってたんじゃリハビリにならないしね。来週までに松葉杖なしで歩くのが目標なんだ。
Damn.
よかったね、上条くん。さやかちゃんも行ってきなよ。まだ声かけてないんでしょ？私はいいよ。
I have ideas. I wonder if it goes with what I talked about a couple episodes ago, I remember.
それで話って何？
I'm gonna press you real quick.
ですわ。
No, you don't.
上条京介くんのことお慕いしてましたの。
I don't know if I'm buying this or if she's just trying to get a reaction from her.
まさか瞳だね。なんだ、京介のやつ隅に置けないな。さやかさんは上条くんと幼馴染でしたわね。
Let me know some things. Hook me up.
そのサレンっていうか。
What's it? You guess?
本当にそれだけ？
What do you really think?
私決めたんですの。もう自分に嘘はつかないって。
I suggest you
あな
live
た
by
はどうで
this.
すか？さやかさん、あなた自身の本当の気持ちと向き合えますか？上条くんのことを見つめていた時間は私よりさやかさんの方が。
Giving you an opportunity to speak up here?
私の先を
I'm giving you a chance?
瞳。
Don't be too prideful.
明日の放課後に上条くんに告白。
You have till then. You're on the
丸
clock.
一日だけお待ちしますわ。さやかさんは後悔なさらないよう決めてください。
You are on the clock,
上条くん
Psycho.
に気持ちを伝えるべきかどうか。
How I feel? She didn't even start eating her food. You just left her. Oh, brother. Ugh. Do not leave her alone. Do not follow her. Again. Just who she is, dude. Mm.
あの時瞳を助けなければってほんの一瞬だけ思っちゃった。
In what way, though?
正義の味方失格だよ。
Regrets, regrets, regrets.
瞳に京介を取られちゃうよ。でも私何もできない。だって私もう死んでるんだもん。ゾンビだもん。こんな体で抱きしめてなんて言えない。キスしてなんて言えないよ。
Is the dissension beginning? Oh.
黙って見てるだけなんて意外だわ。今日のあいつは使い魔じゃなくて魔女と戦ってる。
ちゃんとグリーフシードも落とすだろ。無駄な狩りじゃないよ。
そんな理由であなたが獲物を譲るなんてね。
Really fun shading. She just watches them.
いいからもうすっ込んでなよ。手本を見せてやるからさ。おい。
Nope.
邪魔し
Did you not listen to a thing she said earlier? Such a cool style.
本当だ。その気になれば痛みなんて完全に消しちゃえるんだ。
Can we get a peace, Sayaka, and get the fuck out of here? You gone for sure, right? No, I don't know. They build her in a way, especially through a breakdown that you get towards the end, where like typically the character goes too overboard and they die as a result. But like, I just don't think they're gonna push her there. I think they're gonna push. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe. Because they can, I guess they can go, well, they can go a lot of ways, but two of the things that mainly come into mind would be like push her to a certain extent that allows her to really like regret the things that she's done after she gave the whole speech about, you know, that not being the case. Because she kind of just comes to almost accept the situation that she's in with the soul being separated entirely from her body and becomes too kind of out there and reckless and snaps completely, that it causes her to lose herself in the process. Or we just go where she's built herself this like support cast of people who kind of do care for her and do these things for her and will step in to kind of prevent and stop this. Now, Homura, despite constantly going out of her way to save her, I don't think will save her in this scenario just due to the fact that she's already said before we should just kind of forget about her. So will the build up and everything and the warnings and stuff that Kyoko kind of gave forward be utilized in something where she ends up going out of her way to kind of help and save Sayaka, or are we not going to let that happen? Are we going to allow her to now accept her fruits finally? Like, where are we, what is the plan there with that? I don't know, because I think that would track enough, right? Girl finds out information that's bad, girl completely snaps, girl then takes advantage of the fact that she can kind of have this lifeless body to power herself up and be smart with the way that she kind of does these things, but at the same time causes potential dangers directly to herself by kind of just letting this thing attack freely and do what she wants, or do as it well, I guess as she pleases too. Yeah, but it could cause problems. I don't know. Hopefully some of that made sense. I feel like I'm just yapping about nonsense. But development straight through on Sayaka's part, and Kyoko for the most part too, I guess, with backstory and things kind of being presented for her. And yeah, we get centric episodes regarding them, which realistically has been what's been going on for 3 or 4 episodes now. They've been getting the real big old chunk here within the middle of the series, which is rather interesting. And for the most part, I mean, we travel down this entire list of this entire path of Sayaka's kind of, what would the word kind of be for that? Where you just fall apart essentially, where she just kind of deteriorates, I guess. She's just snapping over. Well, snapping is the only word I could think of, right? And she's just losing it. She's going a little crazy here. You tricked us, didn't you? Yeah, no, you never asked, if we're being honest. And he's not wrong. And this is what I bitched about at the beginning of the episode, the way that he is, right? Yeah, if you don't straight up, hell, if you come forward and you ask, he might give you the answer. He might not too. He might skate around it. But like, why the fuck would I think this is going to happen to my soul? You literally present the idea that we don't even know about the fact that we have these things, right? So like, why the fuck would we think to ask? Like, you gotta... I hate him so much. I can't stand him. I like that he can just simulate pain to her. By doing this. Yeah, you see that? I don't even gonna touch you. If your wish was really that important, you would consider that to be the case. Like you would consider what you gave up to be enough and to kind of suffice for it. So it's an interesting argument for sure, right? I guess that fully is the case though, right? The cost of a miracle should be essentially the cost of one's life, maybe even more, maybe double that. And the only way that you can repay it in the scenario that you're in is for your soul essentially to be transferred out of your body and you to lose complete control essentially of your life form here. But at the same time, that's not the case because you still have it within your hands. Like you didn't end up losing control. So it's like it's bad. Like it's really bad, of course, that he's doing this. And I can easily see the issue in it. But there are perks that definitely come with it. Protection overall of yourself by having this small, you have a smaller hitbox essentially. So like, yeah, that's always a plus. Full control and ability to be able to actually physically hold this thing within your hands and disregard your physical body almost itself. It can be a plus. It might not be also, but the mental issues that kind of come along with believing in something for your entire life and then finding out that it's no longer going to be like that is going to take a large toll, especially on somebody of her age, for the longest period of time that is then going to, you know, struggle for years and years on end. So she's not really mentally in that space right now to accept what Cuba actually did here. Like I said, I think it has some benefits, but at the same time, it's kind of fucked up. I don't think I'd be too happy with it either. I like just like the overall just laying here with essentially your entire life being stuck in your hands. Nobody ever warned us about this. Nobody believes in any of this stuff. So this is like my biggest issue, I think, with most of the Homura stuff in the series so far. And it simply comes down to like everything that she does just doesn't make sense to me. Like it doesn't add up at all, right? It's if you have knowledge of these things, like, and this is where we can change what I'm going to say with them kind of clarifying this at some point in the future. But for the most part, it's if you have knowledge of what's going to occur at some point in the future, if you have an understanding of these things and you have people who are willing to work on your side, or you're trying to prevent people from working on your team or working against this or do whatever, right? You should warn them and tell them what's going on. You should give them all the information that you can. You should scream into them and you should tell them to believe you. You should lay out these things and explain stuff about them that would lead them to believe, how the fuck do you know that? And then prove it right in front of them, allow them to kind of see that if you have that sort of capability, if this is something that is in some sort of predictable pattern, because that's where my mindset is. She's not telling them under the assumption that if I tell them or do something, it's going to ruin the patterns of the things that is going to come, right? So I would believe that and understand that if that's going to explain whatever it is within the future episodes at some point. I'd get that completely. But if we don't want to go that route and she doesn't end up telling them, the overall line of like, nobody would believe me if I ended up telling them or something just doesn't work for me, because it's like, if you are aware of all these things, you could tell them and you could explain and show it firsthand what's actually occurring here, right? Like with your immense knowledge on these situations. So it's like, you could tell them and you could alter things entirely, but if you're truly just trying to follow this one path and get to this point, I guess I get it. But like we won't actually know till it comes. It's like you're just withholding information to be weird. Like I would just tell them, and I would rather have more people on my side working towards this goal as opposed to kind of isolating it. But at the same time, maybe this is something that she truly believes that only she can do herself, or for whatever the reason it is. And we don't know any of this stuff because they, refuse to give us anything regarding her in telling us. But it just like all feels a little off at certain different points to me. Miracles cost far more than the human life. She can't go back to her normal life. I told you to fucking give up on her regardless of anything that you want to say. Why are you so cold? Probably because I'm no longer a human. Parallel to what we're going to get later at some point with Sayaka and her dialogue. Homura is essentially losing it. Her life form being essentially not involved or a part of her either, or in the same exact sort of spot. Just gonna lie here all fucking day. What are you doing? Go talk to Apple Girl. You regret everything that was been done? I wouldn't say regret, but it's still still interesting. So the conversation's interesting. We take the food here as a symbolic representation, at least I'd assume, to a offering that we can essentially give through knowledge and through joining of forces in some sort of way between the two that are kind of at hand here, by explaining where we came from and explaining where we obtained everything that we kind of know, and how we can essentially take you under our wing here going forward and give you that, right? And by the end, we get a denial entirely through Sayaka of not wanting to go down that path and wanting to stray entirely and go on her own, and basically rejecting the offerings that are essentially given here, which I think is fun. I love the just environment that we're kind of in, and I love learning about Kyoko and her whole situation that we get with her dad, being able to be smart enough and skeptical enough of all the immediate followings and people that kind of came to her after to him after she was trying to make this wish directly for him and for the benefits and betterness of his own life, to prove that he was correct on everything, which you wouldn't fucking know that because you were like 10, but regardless, or I guess, what are they, 14 probably, something like that. Regardless, you still wouldn't be able to prove any of these, but you would want to have belief in that person or trust that that is the case, and you don't want to see their family entirely torn apart, because bro's so like gone off the edge on his own, beliefs and what he's trying to preach to these people, but as a result also ruined everything too. Anyways, he did realize though that was wrong. And that some sketchy shit was going on directly with her and what they set up. So her wish is interesting because then it all comes down to like her mindset of like, I'm never going to do something for the benefits or help of somebody else. We do this all together. Shit got him pissed. It drove him crazy. His own beloved had become a witch in herself, right? Ended up killing himself and his whole family, and it just kind of destroyed everything from it. Made a wish to somebody else without knowing what they really wanted, and I ruined people's lives as a result. Well, if we want to directly take that as a shot towards Sayaka here, which it's not because it did happen in her own life, but in that sense, Sayaka did specifically ask him or make a note that like, would you want this? And he's like, yeah, no matter what, if there's a miracle, I'd want to come back. So we did straight down verify that that is the case. He didn't willingly just take directly like an assumption that that's what the kid actually would have wanted as what it is. So there shouldn't be a regret for that own situation there. Stop worrying about them and everything else. Just do whatever you want. But why the fuck are you worried about me? Also, her face in the scene kills me. It is so fucking bad. He looks so rough. But like, that is true. It's like, oh, what are you getting at if you're truly not doing anything? And I don't understand this entirely, and it might just be the full nature of who Kyoko is a person, potentially, and it truly just comes down to this of wanting to see the betterness of like other people around her when it comes to her father, and wanting to see like his happiness, and now wanting to see somebody like Sayaka, who's now in a rough spot mentally, kind of get out of this. And if you can do anything, even if it's as simple as just having this conversation or offering this helping hand or whatever it is, you would want to do that anyways. So like, of course, she calls her right out on that, and she's like, well, you're making this mistake that I once did too, and I don't want you to have to like, regret it because you paid a big price. So it's like, I get that, but at the same time, you're not answering her question because you're still doing it at this point, still paying attention and wishing. But I guess she's not using her power necessarily for it, but knowledge itself can become a power, so it's like entirely a different thing, that maybe she's putting that value or what she's capable of doing onto something else, if that makes any sense. Sorry for you, but I don't regret anything at all. I'm chill. I can utilize this to the best of my advantage or abilities, and I'll absolutely do that. How did you get those things? Where did you get the money? What did you do? You don't want to tell me you don't want to do that? Well, I'd stand on my high horse, and I would never do something. I would never do something like that. You fucking idiot. I'll continue fighting in my own way. And she walks out like she has the most fucking aura you've ever seen in your life. I no longer bear you any ill will, nor will I lose going forward. You want to try me again? I will fuck you up. Dramatic exit. And we put on brave face once again for all your friends, because we don't want to let anybody kind of know what's going on. And immediately tone switch when we bring up Buddy getting out of the hospital. Shit's kind of looking a little rough. He's at school. Well, I wanted to tell you that I liked him. So this scene's fun because this is the turning point, right? She puts on this big boast. I'm feeling this sort of way. I'll never feel any other way. And then somebody tells you something, and then that regret seeps in. Oh, fuck. Maybe I was regretting this thing. Maybe I did think about the idea. Maybe I'm having that now with the newfound information of what my soul is and like what has become of myself. Maybe I'm feeling that sort of way. And this whole thing. So she doesn't have feelings for him, right? And if she does, that's a problem because they did a really poor job at displaying that in some sort of meaningful way. And this is a really poor scene if that's the case. Now, if she doesn't, which I don't believe she does, this is a full-on test of Sayaka because of her struggle whenever his name or visual of him essentially is brought up. And it is a friend putting that to the test of being like, you need to start being more realistic and honest with yourself. And if you're not going to do that, I'm going to force you essentially into it because I can't bear to sit here and watch this person that I care about struggle and suffer over something as stupid as this, right? So I'm going to push you in that direction. I'm going to force this upon you, which I think is I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, I guess, the way that you essentially just bring it to it, but you can tell the type of person she is. And also by knowing her, understanding that she won't, directly give everything that she has here to it either, right? She's going to take her time and act like she's getting to places when in reality she's making like a 0.0001 increase a day, so it's like not really moving towards the goal at all, and she's just going to kind of stay stuck in her own head for a long while. She gives her multiple chances. I won't lie to myself anymore, and I suggest that you do that. Can you accept these feelings and the things that you have? I'll come straight forward with you, but you're you gotta do it. I like how she just leaves before she even has a chance to eat or anything too. And here's Madoka, which this completely breaks Sayaka. It gets her overthinking about everything that's going on. She's having regrets for exactly what she's doing. She had this vision of what exactly she was doing and came to having that full resolve and acceptance. Because we did have that multiple episodes in a row where she was struggling, should I do this, should I not type of thing, until she actually did. So once you found your answer, you thought all was well. And then you put yourself in a sort of position where you then find out that you don't even have your own soul, and essentially like your body itself is just this kind of floating corpse of nothing, right? So it's like what really is it? She's a zombie at the end of the day, as she describes herself, and it makes her really suffer here, right? She can't get over that sort of hump of like, this, I'm not even a real person anymore, it feels like. And I thought I utilized this for good and for a potential great thing, and just seeing him happy and all that, but I could actively work towards becoming something maybe with him, and then it forces me into the sort of situation now where she actually can't do that, and she sees these other people right in front of her be able to possibly take that, a friend that is as well, take it from her, and she can't kind of get over it because like, why would I offer you essentially this nothingness of what I am as a being? It's like, it's stupid because it's as simple as like, well, just go tell him, like, why are you being like this? But she's like so overwhelmed by everything else that's going on and struggles to like even feel like she is a person anymore, is what she was. So it's like, I get it. Like, I get where she's coming from here, I get why she feels the sort of way that she does. There's nothing I can do about it because I'm literally already dead, and there's nothing I can do because like, why would I just give him this offering of this body essentially? It's like, what am I gonna do? Give him my fucking stone and be like, do this? It's like, I'm not even one within myself at this point, which is kind of crazy. Here we go. Eating more food, of course. Hello, Homero. Using your own abilities and wishes and powers and everything for your own benefit, but instead here you are looking after and worried about somebody else and just giving them this instead of take. What's going on with that? I love just being shaded completely in black. The highlights of the color that kind of associates with the hair color themselves works really well here, especially when we're out like this, because it works when the red of the blood and everything pops in. And I really love the up close shots of not just being straight black, but instead just being like a more shaded version of the character. I think are like really cool every time we go into this, and they look really great. She looks like a complete badass as she's moving through here. She struggles, she gets completely consumed until she said, fuck it, don't get in my way, I got this, I'm a level up. And I believe what she does here is essentially remove herself, or whatever this gem that she has is, like, from her, and like no regards for her own body or safety at that point anymore, because she just believes this this thing won't be touched and she'll be plenty okay. So she can just take a bunch of damage. Like we see here where she just gets completely cut up and fucked up and she breaks down laughing because it's like, I literally just detached that from myself. I no longer feel anything either. I don't have to worry about this physical being. So like, you're absolutely right. And now maybe starting to see that side of what, the fucking rat thing. What the hell's his name? I can't I remember? Cuba, whatever he was saying, and now start feeling like I can relate in some sort of way or understand this. But it forces her to a breaking point. She snaps completely. She goes insane over having this, and it puts her in a really scary position because it's like you potentially are going to put your entire life at risk here now. Not that it already wasn't, but even more so because of how dangerous you're essentially getting when you're doing this, which is going to scare everybody else away. And it also gets, the viewer themselves nervous because it's like, what the fuck if she ends up just dying as a result of this? Or would these people be able to kind of step in some sort of way and protect her or snap her out and reassure her that she's still her or whatever they have to do to actually get that across? I don't know. Sayaka continues to struggle though, and we move forward into whatever they will wrap us up with her moving forward. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe to my feel free to check out videos and channel and comments with this better series. I'll be back for episode 8 next Monday. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.